Hello everyone, Mike and Austin here. We finally got around to seeing the new WWE film, The Condemned 2, starring Randy Orton, the Viper himself. And I have to say, I did not see 12 Rounds 2, which was the previous film that Orton starred in. But one positive I will say about this film, first and foremost, is that I thought Randy Orton actually did a pretty good job. I think he can be pretty charismatic. You didn't think so?
Yeah.
No, I thought he was all right. There's no reason for him to put much effort into this, but I think with what he had, I thought he did a fine job.
Well, I thought unlike Dean Ambrose in 12 Rounds 3, he actually seemed like he, was in a hurry.
Yes.
Just kind of walking around, walking everywhere.
Dean Ambrose was on vacation for 12 Rounds 3.
I'll get around to it eventually.
I'll get around to it. But boy, I would take 12 Rounds 3 Lockdown over this any day. Guys,
oh, God.
This movie sucked. Condemned 2 sucked. This was worse than Vendetta. This was worse than Marine 4. This was worse than Stone Age SmackDown. This was worse than Jingle All the Way 2. This is, in my opinion, WWE's worst film yet. And it's a shame because, you didn't think so. I thought Randy did a fine job, and I think if he was put into a much better film, he could be a fun action lead. But, this movie is so, even for cheap direct-to-DVD WWE standards, this film is so nonsensical. It is so lazy. The action scenes...
Boring.
The action scenes are boring, guys.
The choreography of these fight scenes...
Lazy.
Just stupid.
Dull, nonsensical.
Like a middle school fight in the gymnasium,
It's like an old 60s action movie, but not in a fun way, but in the sense that they didn't know how to choreograph action scenes.
Punch,
flip,
throw them over your back. Oh, we're on the ground now. Kick, punch.
This movie was bad. Before we get in, we will get into the film, but I will just say up front, I do not recommend this film.
It was terrible.
This was not good. The only direct-to-DVD film we've seen this year that I think was worse was War Pigs. But as far as WWE films go, I would recommend Lockdown, but do not see this, guys. This was not good. So let's go ahead and get into this real quick. So Randy Orton, it plays a bounty hunter named Will Tanner, which was not the coolest action name they could have come up with. Kind of lame. Sounds an awful lot like Will Turner from Pirates, but not quite.
It's no Cypher Rage.
If only it was Cypher Rage. And so he is leading a squad of bounty hunters. They get into some trouble and they get disbanded. So Randy Orton then goes back to his home to visit his father, played by Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts is awesome, as always. And he should have been in more of this film. Very quickly, we realized that the music sounds like PlayStation 1 action music. The music in this film is so bad and 90s, and it drowns out the entire film, so it never stops. It gives you a headache.
That's the thing. I swear to God that the music never stopped once. And the problem with that is, they had to have the music so much that I swear they just had the same song on loop.
Yeah.
You would wow, we just heard that. And it was just looping again and again. And it was just so stupid and boring.
I agree. He visits Eric Roberts, and Eric Roberts is mad. Because I guess Roberts used to run the bounty hunter business that Orton was running. So Eric Roberts is like, generations of this completely thrown out of the window because of you. I'm so pissed at you. And then it just segues to the two sitting outside drinking and just shooting the breeze and having a Bondly father and son time.
I guess they're okay now.
I guess Eric Roberts isn't mad at him anymore. So I guess Randy Orton thought, well, now that I'm done being a bounty hunter, I am going to be a tow truck driver, I guess. So we get a laughably cheesy rap rock song. I wanted to write down the lyrics, but I didn't want to hear it anymore, so I didn't bother studying it. But we get some shots of 16-year-old girls and their butts wearing Daisy Dukes. This was Michael Bay levels of awkward and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And we see what I guess is supposed to be a drone that is constantly stalking Randy Orton throughout the film. But what it really is a remote control toy straight out from Toys R Us. Looked terrible. And so the plot of this film is that a bad guy from Randy Orton's past has it out for Orton and his former squad of bounty hunters. So what the guy did is he blackmailed all of Randy Orton's former partners into killing Randy Orton. And while they're doing this, he's filming all this on that drone that's following him, and he's broadcasting it in front of a big group of wealthy, millionaire, evil people, and they're all placing bets on whether or not if Randy Orton will survive. So that's kind of where the tie-in to the first Condemned comes into play, in the sense that it's wealthy people watching people kill each other to death. Nothing really new on that sense.
Kill each other to death.
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Kill each other to death. Kill each other. Fight to the death. That's what I'm going to say. Fight each other to the death. Yeah, kill each other to the death, guys. This movie has killed my brain cells. It's killed my brain cells to the death. Okay. So, anyways. So, yes. So, nothing really new on that. So, case in point, Randy Orton encounters one of his buddies from the squad, and they have a terribly choreographed fight scene in a diner. This is so lame. It's just shoving and pushing. It goes on much longer than it should.
CGI shell casings flying everywhere
from the gun. Yeah, Randy Orton accidentally kills him by slightly pushing his head back, and I guess that snapped his neck. Makes sense to me. So,
by the way, I just wanted to mention about that drone because while this fight scene is going on, this drone is like flying around the place, like watching the fight scene.
Yeah.
This drone has an amazing microphone.
Yes.
Because they can hear literally every single word of everything that is going on, no matter how far it is away from the action.
This drone will be like a mile in the air away from Randy Orton and the gang that he's talking to, and you can
hear them like it's sitting right
the
next to them.
bad guy's listening to it crisp. It's crisp and clear. It's perfect. So after Randy Orton kills his first former partner in self-defense, Eric Roberts, his dad, picks him up, and he just starts joking to Randy Orton, like, so, you killed this guy, huh? So another former partner of Randy Orton approaches Randy, and Eric Roberts is immediately like, okay, this guy is clearly going to kill you. Back off. But the guy's like, no, I promise. I'm not like our other former partner who tried to kill you. So Randy Orton's like, okay. And then the guy tries to kill Randy Orton. So
I was blown away. I did not see that coming.
Yeah. So this all leads to Eric Roberts is separated from them. And Randy is running away from his former partner. Oh, yeah, we're getting to this. Randy Orton is running away from his former partner, and they're in the middle of the desert, mind you. So it cuts back to the bad guy and the people making bets on whether or not if Randy Orton will be killed. So it cuts back to the chase. So here's the setup, guys. They're in the desert. The bad guy is looking for Randy Orton. He has a machine gun in his hand. He's trying to find him. And we don't know where Randy Orton is. And he's walking. And I sarcastically yell out, and Randy Orton comes up from the ground. And the moment I say that, it cuts to these little nostrils in the ground. And this is the desert. Like dry desert, like dry mud, like just dirt. And Randy Orton's body, his corpse, rises up from the ground like the Undertaker.
Out of nowhere.
In slow motion, out of nowhere. The guy...
like literally right next to the guy.
He is inches away from this guy, and he
does not notice.
He does not notice at all. And Randy Orton successfully sneak attacks him out of nowhere.
Out of the ground. And like you also mentioned, as soon as he comes out of the ground and starts fighting him, he is immediately very clean.
Yes.
He must have had a quick shower.
After 2 shots of this, Randy Orton's face is completely clean. And speaking of out of nowhere, in case you're wondering, we don't get any RKOs, unfortunately, in this movie. It's or any punt kicks. Yeah,
but he does come out of nowhere.
He does come out of nowhere in a ridiculously stupid slow-mo coming out of the dry dirt scene. So we get another tedious and boring fight scene. Randy Orton,
boring choreography.
Very boring. And you know what's sad? Like, okay, to compare this to the other WWE films we've seen this year, at least the Marine 4 had some cool hand-to-hand scenes. At least Vendetta was a brutally hard R, so it was like gory and bloody. And at least Lockdown, even though 12 Rounds 3 Lockdown was campy, at least the shooting scenes were like creative. Like, you know, like that's like the taser scene, as silly as that was, at least they were somewhat creative with some of their set pieces so that they were entertaining. There's just nothing to offer for this. It's not even like so stupid it's funny.
No, and like you said, what's so disappointing about how boring this choreography is this is WWE. This is produced by WWE, and Randy Orton is a wrestler. These guys,
and a good one.
They're the kings of fake fighting.
Yeah.
And this is boring.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get away with that?
You would think
guys, you are WWE. This is what you do.
You would think that like Orton would at the least like maybe want to like maybe have some suggestions. I remember Dean Ambrose when I watched that Q&A panel of him talking about Lockdown. I think I remember him talking about like he wanted to do his own stunts and wanted to do this and that. It just like Orton's doing nothing, and what a waste because he's an athlete. He's a natural athlete. Yeah. He can do stuff. Like I'm not expecting him to be like Tony Jaa, but like he could do something cool. There's no cool fight scenes. There's no cool fight moments. There's not even something. I mean that him coming up from the dirt scene was funny, but besides that, there's not even really like a so hilariously dumb scene. It's boring. So Orton does end up killing the guy. He wrestles with the guy and he ends up shooting him with the guy's gun. And then we get our next villain, who's another former member of Randy Orton's bounty hunter squad who's out to kill him.
Known as the Sniper.
He is the Sniper. Okay. So...
Here. How about I give the setup for this?
Yes.
Okay, so Randy Orton has killed this first former member, okay? And he walks out of the gorge, and he's kind of walking...
Two. It's the second one he's killed.
Oh, yeah, the second one, okay?
He's killed 2 people.
He gets out of the gorge, and he's kind of walking, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. And all of a sudden, this patch of dirt just flies up next to him. Oh, crap, I'm being shot at by a sniper. And we cut to his former member... another former member of his on a hill with a .308 sniper rifle, and this guy is unloading at Randy, and Randy is right in the open.
There is nothing blocking Randy. No, he's out in the middle of the desert.
And here's the thing: after that first shot missed him, Randy drops to the ground. Like
he drops to the ground.
He is on the ground right there, like spread out, and he fires at least 5 more times and misses. Let's
emphasize: it's not like the sniper is shooting at him like on an even ground. This guy is on a hill. He is above Randy Orton. So in other words, it doesn't matter that Randy Orton's on the ground. He can still get a clear. If anything, he'll get a more clear shot of the guy. And yet he is missing like 5 shots.
And then as Randy realizes, oh crap, I should probably get off the ground. So he starts running towards this rock formation. And I think he fired at least 4 more times, missed. So Randy is hiding by... okay.
Oh no, keep going. Keep going. Yeah, so it's at this point that I typed in my notes, Orton is now confronted by the worst sniper in the world. Like this... Oh my gosh. So I first thought like, okay, that was laughable, you know, whatever, let's move on. So, a sheriff, a cop, gets in the middle of this, and of course...
She kind of steals Randy Orton's thunder by just kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, she does. She literally just sneaks out of nowhere. And, I guess they were like, well, since this sniper has fired like 10 times at Randy Orton and missed, we have to make the audience believe that he's a deadly sniper. So they get this female cop in the middle of it, and the sniper kills her with a
horribly
CGI'd body shot. She gets like, her chest gets like blown off, but it's so digitalized, it looks terrible. And of course it's in slow motion. So then one of the other former members of the Bounty Hunter squad drives up and tells Randy Orton, like, get in the car!
In a Jeep.
And so he's
wide
like,
open Jeep too. This is a Wrangler, so keep in mind there's no roof to this car.
Exactly. And so here's the thing: you're thinking like, well, how could Randy Orton trust this guy? He can't. So Randy Orton does ponder this for a minute before getting in the Jeep. And here's the problem though with this scene: Randy Orton ponders this while blatantly standing out in the open,
with the sniper guy still firing
as the sniper guy is just shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting, and neither of them get hit. And then finally Randy gets in the Jeep and the two drive away, and the sniper's like, oh crap, and it's like, how, what? Words cannot explain. And actually this is where I wrote in my notes right here, I wrote, the sniper scene alone makes this the worst WWE film I've ever seen. That scene alone was so terribly shot, so insultingly unrealistic, that even as a dumb action film, this is worse than Vendetta. This is worse than any of their other films. This is like just unbelievably insulting.
So whatever.
So it cuts to the main villain and all the people that are watching this through the drone, and the villain references the first Condemned. And for the record, if you guys are wondering, Austin hasn't seen the first Condemned. I have. I hated the Condemned. I thought it was just a poor man's Running Man. And although I loved Steve Austin in it, I like Steve Austin, but he did not save the film. But he references the first Condemned. And then the villain gives a hilariously over-emotional monologue. And the entire time this bad guy is talking about hunting Randy Orton down, his eyes just kept getting wider and wider.
Like they want to pop out of his head.
This is straight up...
They're trying to get out.
This is straight up Nicolas Cage from Vampire's Kiss. Like, this is like when Vader in New Japan got his eye popped out of his socket. Like, it was like he was trying to do that. Like, this was hilariously over the top. And then... and so then Randy Orton and his buddy, they escape, and his buddy explains to him that he was also blackmailed to kill Randy Orton, but he said, screw that, I'm not killing my buddy. So he's on Randy Orton's side, it seems. So the two go to a gas station, and they
No.
Well, they first go to the trailer, but they go to his buddy's trailer, and then the trailer gets attacked by the sniper.
See, here's the thing, though. We have to mention this with the trailer, okay? First of all, they're talking in the trailer next to a wide-open window when they know for a fact that a man with a sniper rifle is after them. I just want to bring that up. But anyway,
that's true. Yeah, they know this guy has a sniper rifle. They just know he's a terrible shot, though.
Anyways, okay, so they're going to leave, okay, and Randy Orton is standing next to the door. He doesn't know for certain if he can trust this guy yet. This guy has said, I'm on your side. Yeah. He said, I'm going to kill you. He said he wants me to kill you. I said no, or whatever. I'm on your side. Yeah. So he opens the fridge door, reaches in, and pulls out a pistol. Yeah. And Randy Orton does not react at all.
The guy, he just stands there, then the guy's like, here, take this pistol.
And then he gives it to him. So
you would think his instinct would be immediately to attack or to run out of the trailer, but he's just like, oh.
And then, okay, so the sniper guy does catch up with them, fires on the trailer like 10 times, misses every single shot, and then, as they're driving away, the entire trailer explodes in the biggest explosion I have ever seen from a trailer of that size.
This was straight out of the climax to Marine 3. Like, just I will say, out of all the WWE films we've seen this year, this had by far the most explosions.
Like, their excuse for the trailer blowing up is that he hit a gas tank on the side of the trailer, but this is like a simulated demolition. I mean, it's like blowing up along the trailer and like sky high.
It's like they planted C4 all over the trailer.
The funniest part about this is you see this huge
that's right. That's right.
You see this tiny drone.
You can see the little
ring above.
You can see the Toys R Us drone just like shakingly moving along the big cloud of smoke. Yeah, we laughed pretty hard at that.
Silly.
So they end up driving away as the sniper's going after them, and they go into a gas station, and then it cuts back. It cuts back to the main villain and all the people watching this on the drone, and the villain gives like a narration. He's like, it appears because again, Randy Orton's name in the movie is Will Tanner. It's like, it appears that Will Tanner will be fighting again. Will he survive? Will he die? Let us find out!
Speaking of these scenes where it cuts back to all the people gambling, whenever it cuts back to these scenes, they're at like poker table looking things.
Yeah.
And they have like the names of all the people on it, and people are like putting chips on live or die and stuff. But I swear to God, whenever they show these scenes of people gambling, they have to be the same shot.
It's the same shots over and over again. They shot that in like 5 minutes and just kept recycling it throughout the film.
This person raising their drink, this person putting it here, this person doing that. It's the same shot over and over again.
It's bad. So they go into the gas station. They have here's a random character. So they go into the gas station, and the lady running the counter pulls out a shotgun. And they almost tease for a minute that she is going to be somewhat of a supporting character. But then Randy Orton just like takes the shotgun from her, and then she
super easily.
Yeah, and then she kind of just fades out of the film. So we get a really, really boring shootout scene.
Really dumb.
Really dumb. And then Eric Roberts finally comes back into the film with his car and picks up Randy Orton and his buddy, the good guy from the Bounty Hunter Squad, and they drive away. And the sniper just kind of gives up on following them. So then Eric Roberts, so they drive away. They tell Eric Roberts what's going on, and they found out from earlier where the bad guy's hideout is. And Eric Roberts is like, I'm going to help you out. And then Randy Orton's like, no, you're not. You're my dad. I want you to be alive. So then Randy Orton punches Eric Roberts and knocks him out. And I thought, wow, you knocked out the one guy who could probably bring some energy and life to this movie. And so then Randy Orton and his buddy walk some more into the desert. And then they encounter the next former member of the Bounty Hunter Squad that's trying to kill Randy Orton.
The booby trap
This guy's gimmick is that he's a booby trap expert. He's an explosion expert. So he's in the middle of the desert, and the guy is setting off explosions all around them, so they're constantly running away from explosions. They are playing a wacky, like, Benny Hill-styled, like, country rock song as this is happening, and it completely kills the mood. So this goes on for a few minutes. It is so silly. It is so stupid. And then there's one scene where Randy Orton realizes that there's a claymore right in front of him. So he backs up like maybe 5 feet away. The claymore goes off, and we get this weird close-up of Randy Orton's face as the explosion goes off. When we get some slow-mo as the impact of the explosion brushes up against his face without actually hurting him. And this goes on for like 10 seconds. It was a very random slow-mo shot. It's like if Zack Snyder came in for a second to direct. And so Randy Orton finally confronts the booby trap guy, they have a really stupid fight scene where they fight over a hand grenade. The hand grenade goes off, no one gets hurt, and then the guy runs off. So here's what happens. The booby trap guy runs off.
No, he's still there.
Well, hang on. He runs away. A cop shows up. The sniper from earlier is there at a distance, and he finally shoots Randy Orton in the arm.
After he misses 3 times.
Yes.
For old time's sake.
He shoots Randy Orton in the arm, and he's like, all right, I got him, finally. So then he just drives away.
No, he drives away because the cop starts firing.
That's right. The cop's there. So the cop stitches up Randy Orton.
Okay, yeah. This is the... Okay, so this guy shoots Randy Orton in the arm with a .308 caliber, and his arm's still there, you know.
Yeah.
To explain that. But anyways, so the cop helps him, patches him up, and then goes, yeah, you're lucky. It was a through and through. It didn't hit any vital organs.
In his arm.
In his arm. Vital organs.
Vital organs.
Hey, at least it didn't hit any vital organs in his arm.
Thank God he didn't hit any of those internal organs in his arm, in his bicep. So...
You idiot!
So...
Oh my God.
Here's the part where the movie... I mean, this was already a terrible movie. And that sniper scene from earlier, like I said, made it WWE's worst film. But this is where the movie completely jumped
Bonkers.
the shark. It just totally jumped the shark. So, here's the setup. We have Randy Orton, his buddy, the good guy, and this cop. And they're like, okay, we have to finally go after these bad guys once and for all. All of a sudden, the booby trap guy just walks in the scene and goes, okay, I'm going to help you guys out now. This guy turns babyface for no reason. He just randomly shows up and decides he's going to be a good guy now.
No, and then after he just kind of walks into the scene and says, hey, I'm a good guy now, then they tie the cop's hands behind his back and then blow up his car.
Why? He was helping them out. And instead they're like, screw this guy. We're going to take the guy that just tried to blow me up.
And then drive away and just leave him there.
This has got to be one of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen in a movie ever. This made no sense. This had no thought put into it. This was beyond stupid. This was beyond silly. This was beyond laughable. I just what?
Okay. I don't know if you remember this, but this is another thing that happens right afterwards, you know, just the continuity stuff. Okay, so after Randy Orton punched out his dad, leaves his dad in the truck, knocked out.
Oh, that's right.
They walk right off the road, and then all this crap happens, like, right off the road from where the truck was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so while all this stuff is going on, Randy Orton's being, you know, trying to get blown up and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so after they leave, after all this stuff happens, they go and they drive down the road, and they meet Randy Orton's dad standing in the middle of the road with this thing. So I'm supposed to assume that he woke up, started his car, drove off while all this stuff is going on, like his son is getting blown up and stuff, goes back home, gets all his stuff, and then drives to where they're going to meet them, just leaving him there.
That's right.
That's what I'm supposed to assume.
That's right.
Okay. Just making sure.
Eric Roberts doesn't care. He plays by his own rules. So
I would have loved to... it might have made it a little better if they had put in the scene where he woke up, saw his son being blown up, and just got, screw this, and just drove off.
It's like, you know what, he punched me. So yeah, they all meet. So now Randy Orton has 2 of his buddies working with him, Screw Off, and they meet up with Eric Roberts, and they get ready for the climax. So they go to the bad guys.
No. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you again, but I just gotta mention, okay? So they meet up Eric Roberts, and he's like, okay, let's go do this crap. And as soon as he says that, as soon as Eric Roberts is officially part of the team that's going after the bad guys, he does the first sensible thing in the entire film that they should have been doing the entire time. He shoots the drone.
Yeah.
That has literally been following them the entire
This drone
film.
has had no subtlety following Randy Orton. When Randy Orton gets shot in the arm and he falls down, the drone is literally like 5 feet above him, just staring at him.
Yeah, like literally hovering right above him, and no one has shot at it or anything.
Yeah.
And then Eric Roberts is like, okay, I'm part of the team now. Okay.
Yeah, he gets out his sniper rifle, and unlike the other guy, he can actually shoot, and he destroys the $30 remote control drone. And so
Idiots.
So the villain realizes that he's on borrowed time. He knows that they're coming for them. And so all these wealthy millionaires who have illegally placed bets on to see whether or not if Randy Orton will live, decide, let's stay and watch what happens. Let's let him come to us. Let's just see what happens. We never do find out what happened to them or not.
Well, because the villain had then decided that he's going to become a player in the game.
That's right, because he needs to kill Randy Orton himself. So Randy Orton, the two guys, and Eric Roberts do a raid at this place, and here's where the villain continues to be a little bit of fun. So the villain gets all his henchmen together, and they start going outside, and here's the line that the villain just, again, with his eyes as wide open as possible, just shrieks out. He goes, these are his strategic orders. Some of you go to the left. Some of you go to the right. Some of you go around. Kill him.
Truly should be a lot within the greats like Hannibal and Julius Caesar.
Absolutely. This guy is a great villain.
Strategic master.
He's almost as good as the Big Show and Macklemore's brother from Vendetta. So we get a boring climactic shootout filled with, it's filled with a lot of explosions, but
literally, it's just things exploding.
It is. It's nothing but just explosions. And
it's like Michael Bay took over for
Randy Orton finally kills the sniper. It's very anticlimactic. And then Randy Orton meets up with the main villain, and they have a very nonsensical fight scene where this
half
villain,
of it is just exposition.
Yeah, the villain is just giving off cheap exposition, and he gets most of the offense on Randy. And this guy is much smaller than... This is Randy Orton.
Randy Orton has like 2 feet on this guy, probably 75 pounds of all muscle.
Yeah.
On this guy. And this guy is like dominating him.
Yeah. And finally, Randy Orton starts to punch him some more. The bad guy, of course, takes out a knife. Randy counters that and stabs him with the knife. Lamest kill ever. It's a lame climax. The police come, and they're like, good job, Randy Orton. If you ever need help again, just call us. And he's like, oh, okay, thanks. Even though a cop was killed earlier today, and the blame was put on Randy Orton, but, So, they all kind of joke around. Apparently the booby trap guy really is a good guy now.
Yeah, and they kind of forgive him for blowing up that trooper's car.
That's right. And it... Oh,
we have one more explosion in the background for good measure.
We get one more random explosion in the background and then credits. Screw this movie.
Oh my god.
Guys, no.
Screw off.
No. Just no.
Just avoid this like the
I
plague.
am a wrestling fan. Despite how bad the project has been, I am still a WWE fan. There's not a bone in my body that can recommend this film. Even if you're a Randy Orton fan, just no.
Stay away.
This is the second worst direct-to-DVD film we've seen this year. It's worse than Vendetta, and I didn't think anything was going to top Vendetta. The only reason that this is better the only reason this is better than War Pigs is because it's War Pigs.
It's because it's War Pigs, and also this film actually didn't look like it was just shot in someone's backyard.
Yeah, I'll give it that. And it actually looks like it takes place in 2015, unlike War Pigs, which did not for a second look like it was shot in World War II.
1940s.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, for the love of God, do not see The Condemned 2.
No.